I transmigrated into the Duel continent and became a 100,000-year-old soul beast, the Asura white tiger. I just wanted to lie low for 100,000 years and peacefully take on a human form. But unexpectedly, just as I broke through, I was ambushed by the dark devil god tiger. When my life was hanging by a thread, I happened to run into Zhu Zuqing, who was being hunted by her clan. So, I decisively beckoned to her with my paw. "Little kitty, want to become the #1 white tiger on the Duel continent?" At that moment, an agile, black-haired girl was darting swiftly through the woods. On her head was a pair of cute, fluffy cat ears. And behind her, 5 soul masters were in hot pursuit. "Second young miss, you'd better surrender without a fight. If you're cooperative, my brothers and I can make it quick for you." Gale Blade, a soul elder, suddenly waved his hand, sending a wind blade tearing through the air, aimed straight for Zhu Zuqing's back. Zhu Zuqing bit her lower lip, not saying a word. There wasn't a hint of surrender or defeat in her eyes. The first spirit ring at her feet lit up. Activating Hell Rush, she used her suddenly doubled speed to dodge the attack. "Rock Devil's heavy fist," the middle-aged soul ancestor shouted. An earthy yellow light coalesced into the phantom image of a fist as large as a millstone, blocking Zhu Zuqing's path forward. The other 4 soul elders also activated their spirit abilities at the same time, completely cutting off all her room to escape. Hell's 100 claws. Zhu Zuqing's eyes turned cold. With a twist, she changed direction. The sharp claws on her hands tore through the air, leaving countless afterimages. With a sharp whistle, she barely managed to shatter some of the wind blades, then executed a tactical roll into the dense woods. After her, the middle-aged soul ancestor led the chase. But before they had run more than a few hundred meters, they saw a bright clearing up ahead. And there was Zhu Zuqing, the girl they were hunting, standing motionless in the open. "Ha ha ha, don't you just love to run? Why aren't you running anymore? Are you waiting for us to show you a good time?" The men roared with unrestrained laughter. However, in the next second, the smiles on their faces froze solid. A massive white tiger, its aura terrifying and its body bathed in blood, was watching them with great interest. The middle-aged soul ancestor's face turned pale with horror. Although the white tiger before them was heavily injured, the level of its aura far surpassed that of any soul beast he had ever encountered. "Run!" The spirit rings at his feet flashed frantically. But his body completely refused to obey, no matter how hard he tried. He couldn't activate a single spirit ability. "Now, tell me, how exactly were you planning on showing me a good time?" I gave them an amiable smile. "A 100,000-year soul beast. And a white tiger, no less." The middle-aged soul ancestor felt a chill run down his spine, and the faces of the 4 soul elders behind him were as white as sheets. "Senior, this is all a misunderstanding." The soul ancestor's legs grew weak, and he forced a smile that looked worse than if he were crying. "A misunderstanding? Well then, I suppose I can have a little misunderstanding of my own." I didn't even get up. A streak of golden light just tore through the air and flew out. The next second, his chest was pierced by a phantom tiger claw. Phantom soul, as ethereal as a wisp of dust, floated out from his head. I swallowed it in a single gulp. "Now, it's your turn." I turned my gaze back to the 4 soul elders, who were shaking in terror. An invisible wave, imbued with my own killing intent, transformed into the purest form of a spiritual shockwave and assaulted the soul elders. They didn't even have time to scream or beg for their lives before they all froze in place. Then, with blood streaming from their eyes and ears, they collapsed. Even Zhu Zuqing, standing to the side, felt her head spin. She fought back her fear, and looked up at me. "Little kitten, what's your name?" "Senior, my name is Zhu Zuqing, of the Zhu family from the Star Luo Empire." "Is that so?" Zhu Zuqing subconsciously wanted to ask something more. When she opened her mouth, all she said was, "Yes." I couldn't help but complain in my head. "Seriously, girl, how are you being hunted down again?" Seeing that she only has 2 spirit rings, it's clear Zhu Zuqing is now fleeing from the Star Luo Empire, on her way to Heaven Do to find Dai Mubai. In that case, in a few days at the earliest, or a few months at the latest, Tang San and Xiao Wu will be heading to Shrek. And with time being so tight, even if I successfully take human form and survive, I probably won't get a chance to meddle with the immortal herbs. Without any lucky breaks and relying solely on myself, even if I go down the path of an evil spirit master, I figure it would still take me over a decade to become a titled Duoluo. By that time, the 7 devils will have long become gods. Wait a minute, Zhu Zuqing's spirit soul is the Hellcat, which has a natural, special resonance with the white tiger spirit soul. If their compatibility is high enough, they can unleash the spirit fusion skill, the nether white tiger. And as it happens, I am a white tiger. And not just any, but one that has mastered a special kind of spiritual power, a slaughter white tiger. If I willingly sacrifice myself and merge into Zhu Zuqing's body in the most perfect way, I can grant her a powerful 100,000-year spirit bone and spirit ring. And then create a few powerful spirit abilities based on my own design. If I play my cards right, I might just be able to revive and ascend to godhood. At this thought, a chilling smile spread across my face. I've dealt with your assassins. How do you plan to repay me? Repay you? How could I possibly repay you? Zhu Zuqing bit her lip, remaining silent. Despair radiated from her. She was only a spirit grandmaster. She couldn't run, and she couldn't hide. What do you want from me? Do you want to live? Do you want to gain power? Do you want to control your own destiny? 3 questions, and each one struck Zhu Zuqing's heart like a heavy hammer. The words, control your own destiny, were like a key, unlocking the deepest desire in her heart. Why did she flee? Why was she being hunted? Why was she fighting so desperately to become stronger? Wasn't it all to change? The fate arranged for her by her family? To live freely and with dignity? I do. Zhu Zuqing's nails dug into her palms. Excellent. I bared my teeth, revealing a satisfied smile. My name is White Tiger, a 100,000-year-old spirit beast. I am going to offer myself to you, and become the first sentient spirit ring in the history of the continent. A sacrifice? How is that possible? Why me? The question was like a clap of thunder, exploding in Zhu Zuqing's mind. A 100,000-year-old spirit beast, willingly offering itself as a sacrifice. She was a bit dazed and couldn't help but ask, even though the white tiger in front of me seems severely injured, so what? A 100,000-year-old spirit beast truly wants to offer itself as a sacrifice? Do you think I couldn't find a suitable host? It's because in your eyes, I see defiance against fate, and besides, your martial soul is a natural match for me, capable of containing my power to its fullest extent. With my help, you will have the potential to become a god. Become a god, that word seemed too distant in Zhu Zuqing's eyes. She just wanted to become stronger, to live in this world openly and with dignity. That's it, what do I need to do? Zhu Zuqing was silent for a few seconds, then spoke frankly. She knew this was likely a pact with a tiger, one she might not survive. But at this moment, she had no other choice. Relax your mind, endure the pain and accept my power. As long as you can persevere, you will gain a talent unparalleled in this world. Zhu Zuqing glanced at the corpses on the ground, thinking of those cold faces in Star Luo City. Thinking of the fleeing Dai Mubai, she seemed to realize she had nothing left to lose. She took a deep breath. Her gaze became resolute. I accept. Very good. I gave Zhu Zuqing an appreciative look. Come, then, whether it is life or death. Let it come. I threw my head back and let out a long roar. The sound shook the wilderness as sound waves spread out in all directions. Visible ripples appeared in the air, and the surrounding trees all bent backward in unison. The roar contained a soul-shaking tremor, stunning Zhu Zuqing where she stood. Her mind went completely blank. Having lost all control in an instant, she could only watch helplessly as a crimson light erupted from within my body. The light was like the rising sun, illuminating everything around. The massive white tiger body slowly collapsed, the divine light in its eyes dissipating. The crimson glow, carrying a terrifying energy, surged madly into her body. The fusion process lasted for a long time, so long that the sun began to set in the west. As dusk began to fall, in the midst of this long and painful ordeal, Zhu Zuqing's spiritual power and physical attributes began to skyrocket wildly. Meanwhile, my enormous white tiger body began to disintegrate. It turned into billions of points of light, like a river of stars reversing its course, once again surging madly into Zhu Zuqing's body. The immense power instantly caused Zhu Zuqing's level to shoot up like a rocket, raising it directly from the 27th level to the 30th. Perhaps it was because of the resonance between the white tiger and the nether spirit cat's origins that my power fused with her so perfectly. On her forehead, a faint, golden mark in the shape of the character for king appeared. Second martial soul, White Tiger. In just a moment, Zhu Zuqing had transformed from the spirit cat girl into the white tiger girl, and beneath the girl, an ethereal, blood-red, 100,000-year spirit ring gradually solidified, emitting a terrifying pressure that made the heart palpitate. Compared to my excitement, Zhu, who had endured a night of torment, Zuqing finally couldn't hold on any longer, and her head tilted to the side. She fell fast asleep. However, the very moment she closed her eyes, a powerful will suddenly took control of her body. The girl's eyes snapped open, but they no longer held their usual coldness, but a domineering iciness instead. So this is what it feels like to be a soul master, huh? I stood up, controlling the girl's body, tried clenching my fist. Although this body's strength is far from what I had before my sacrifice, it's much stronger than I was in my past life as an ordinary person. My expression hardened as I directly activated the martial soul's power. White tiger possession. The mark of a king appeared on the girl's forehead. Cute tiger ears sprouted from her head, and her crimson gold tiger eyes radiated an authority that needed no anger. A blood-red, 100,000-year soul ring suddenly lit up beneath her feet. White tiger clone. A white light flashed, and a figure that looked exactly like Zhu Zuqing. A white tiger girl appeared before me. It's so realistic. I stepped forward, reaching out a hand to observe it carefully. Her appearance, demeanor, aura, and even her touch were all identical to Zhu Zuqing's real body. I'm sure that even the person who dotes on Zhu Zuqing the most, her dear sister Zhu Zuyan, wouldn't be able to tell them apart if she were here. Truly perfect. I gave a satisfied smile. Although the white tiger clone can only create one copy, that clone can perfectly replicate all of the original's powers, and is able to use all the soul skills it has now, and all the ones it will acquire in the future. As for the other soul skill my soul ring bestowed, White Tiger Vajra Transformation, it's different from Dai Mubai's third soul ring. The White Tiger Vajra Transformation, the one I have bestowed, is even more powerful. Instead of just doubling attack and defense power, it doubles all attributes. It also grants direct immunity to abnormal statuses, and even its duration has been increased from half an hour to 1 hour. To put it simply, as long as I activate the White Tiger Vajra Transformation, my strength is doubled. And I can't be poisoned, paralyzed, burned, frostbitten, or confused. Furthermore, Slaughter Skull I bestowed is also extremely powerful. It can devour the souls of the enemies I kill, and store them in the slaughter space. When the domain skill, 100 Tigers Slaughter Formation, is activated, these departed souls will rematerialize and attack enemies under their master's control. As long as the master does not die, the departed souls are indestructible. This is a growth-type soul skill. The more I kill, the more souls I devour, and the stronger it gets, similar to the legendary power of the ghosts that serve tigers. As for the second soul bone skill, it is also an enhancement-type soul skill. It is called the White Tiger God Slayer Transformation. My eyes narrowed, a scarlet blood mist materialized around me, and my entire being was filled with the cold and frenzied killing intent. After using this soul skill, for 1 hour, all my abilities are doubled, my combat awareness is greatly enhanced, and my sense of pain is greatly reduced. My killing intent precisely locks onto an opponent, unaffected by any illusions. More importantly, this soul skill can be perfectly stacked with a boost from White Tiger Vajra Transformation. With both skills active at once, all my abilities are tripled. I don't know how much time passed. Zhu Zuqing finally broke through the restraints, the moment she opened her eyes, and found myself leaning against a towering ancient tree. You're finally awake. The sacrifice was a success. You now have twin martial souls. Was it a success? Her head still a bit fuzzy, Zhu Zuqing muttered to herself as she subconsciously stood up. The next moment, Zhu Zuqing was so scared she nearly jumped out of her skin. Her eyes flashed with terror. How can you control my body? Don't be nervous. As the sentient spirit ring of your second martial soul, it's perfectly reasonable for me to help you control your body, right? Otherwise, when you're asleep, someone has to look after your body for you, don't they? Besides, I gave my life for you. What's the big deal if I use your body to come out and play once in a while? You, get out of my body. What are you so shy about? Little girl, I'm a tiger, not a human. My taste is different from yours. Look at you. Apart from your head, you don't have a single hair on your body. You're not my type at all. You should first get familiar with your body, I said with a faint smile. Changing the subject, Zhu Zuqing was speechless. A tiger that had just sacrificed itself was actually more familiar with her own body than she was. This situation was more than a little absurd. The young woman couldn't help but let her mind wander, but soon an intense wave of excitement washed over her complicated feelings. My spirit power level actually broke through from the 27th level all the way to the 30th level. And I have a second martial soul and a 100,000-year spirit ring. These three new treasures made the young woman's heart race. Her face flushed red with excitement. How does it feel? It's like a dream. I suddenly became so strong. So strong it doesn't feel real. Zhu Zuqing's eyes flickered as she muttered to herself. She unconsciously fell into silence. Now, she had power, she had talent, she had choices, and a brand new path. Shadows that once suffocated her suddenly seemed much fainter. Thank you. So, next, what should I do? Go to my home, to get some things I've collected. Half an hour later, under my guidance, Zhu Zuqing finally found an extremely well-hidden cave in the outer region of the Star Do Great Forest. Inside the cave, all sorts of treasures were piled up carelessly like trash. You've got to be kidding me. You're a 100,000-year spirit beast. Why is your home here? Your territory should be in the core region of the Star Do Great Forest, or at least in the inner region. But you actually made your home in the outer region. You don't act like a 100,000-year spirit beast at all. I once thought about taking human form. After traversing for many years, I've killed countless beings to become stronger. Because I knew soul beasts can't become gods, while I was cultivating to become a 100,000-year soul beast. I also kept some spoils of war that might be useful in the future. At the very least, if I really choose to transform into a human in the future, I won't end up like a certain 100,000-year little rabbit, who didn't even have the money to buy a quilt and had to share a bed with someone else. In the end, she lost both the person and her wealth. Now, all of this is yours for the taking. My legacy is all in here. You can sort through it yourself. Take whatever you like. Watching someone else loot your own stash, even if you're doing it willingly, it's hard not to have mixed feelings. Let me see what kind of treasures you've collected. Filled with curiosity, Zhu Zuqing began to search inside the cave. There were all sorts of dazzling soul tools and gold soul coins. Precious ores were everywhere, but what truly shocked Zhu Zuqing were the 3 sandalwood boxes placed in the corner. The moment she opened one, she was stunned. It was actually a soul bone, a left leg bone, as black as ink, with what looked like shadows flickering within it. Judging from the energy fluctuations, it was at least of 10,000-year quality. With trembling hands, she opened the second box. It was another soul bone. She swallowed hard and opened the third box. It was still a soul bone. 3 soul bones. 3 10,000-year soul bones from different body parts. You actually collected 3 soul bones. Zhu Zuqing was so excited at this moment that the hand touching the soul bone couldn't help but tremble. Soul bones that others could only dream of, and she had just obtained 3 of them at once. Surprised? If you kill enough soul beasts, no matter how low the drop rate is, you're guaranteed to get a few. These all came from 10,000-year soul beasts. The quality is decent enough. The soul skills they grant correspond to speed, strength, and explosive power. Zhu Zuqing's eyes gleamed with desire. Absorbing a soul bone not only grants you an extra soul skill, but it also increases your soul power, physical fitness, and improves your aptitude. If she absorbed them all now, her talent would be elevated once again. Her strength would also take a qualitative leap. She almost blurted it out. Can I absorb all of them? No. Before she could finish her sentence, I cut her off mercilessly. You need to understand, your body right now doesn't just belong to you. It also belongs to me. I will not allow you to use these trash soul bones. Trash soul bones? Aren't 10,000-year soul bones good enough? This is something even titled Duoluos long for. They are them, and you are you. Other people's goal is, at most, to become a titled Duoluo. But your goal is to become a god. Therefore, the soul bones on your body must all be 100,000-year soul bones. But how can 100,000-year soul bones be so easy to obtain? If we go by what you're saying, to collect the other soul bones, I would have to hunt at least 5 more 100,000-year soul beasts. How is that possible? Even Bibi Dong, the Supreme Pontiff of Spirit Hall, who is a titled Duoluo, hasn't managed to do that, right? And she's the Supreme Pontiff, with twin spirits. How could I ever compete with her? Don't be so narrow-minded. A 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor's right leg bone. And I happen to know just where to find it, I said softly. The air in the stone chamber instantly froze. Zhu Zuqing's eyes widened. I don't believe you. Zhu Zuqing's clear voice was trembling now. Little kitty, this world is far more complex than you imagine. That's right, I'm talking about the mother Tang San has never met. The 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor, Ah Yin. I remember it very clearly. After the blue-silver emperor sacrificed herself for Tang Hao, the right leg bone she left behind was not absorbed by him. Instead, it was preserved. As it happens, in the original story, the description of the location where Tang Hao hid Ah Yin was written very clearly. Zhu Zuqing fell silent. She suddenly realized I was far more mysterious than she had ever imagined. Do you trust me? I didn't offer an explanation. I do. Then listen to me. Don't hesitate. We leave immediately. Our destination is Nuoding City. Because, other than the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament a few years from now, this is the only time. That is the perfect opportunity to steal the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone. The white tiger clone dissipated into specks of light. I understand. Zhu Zuqing slowly stood up straight. I won't absorb these soul bones, but I will take them with me, to be used later when they are needed. Clever. Let's pack our things. Zhu Zuqing began to get organized, packing up all of my inheritance, putting all the soul bones and other important items into another storage ring. Let's go. It was time to embark on a new journey. The young girl calmed her thoughts, bent down, and crawled out of the cave. The midday sun spilled through the treetops. To successfully obtain the 100,000-year soul bone, do I need to get my third soul ring first? Zhu Zuqing asked, taking a deep breath of the fresh forest air. With my current physical condition, I should be able to absorb a soul ring of over 2,000 years, right? You're thinking too small. I couldn't help but shake my head and chuckle. You've absorbed my soul ring and soul bone, and you've even awakened a second martial soul. Your physical constitution has improved several times over. Is this the extent of your ambition? For their third soul ring, soul masters like you can usually only absorb one that's around 1700 years old at most. And the so-called optimal soul ring configuration is nothing more than yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and red. But since you've already stepped outside the rules, why would you still adhere to these useless ones? Then what 1000-year soul ring do you think I should choose? Zhu Zuqing raised an eyebrow slightly. Are you saying I should absorb a 5000-year one? That's already the limit of what she felt she could absorb. No, we're not in a hurry to absorb one just yet. My gaze drifted into the distance as I said something that shocked the young girl. I want you to absorb a 10,000-year third soul ring. 10,000 years. Zhu Zuqing stood frozen on the spot, subconsciously thinking I was joking. Other people's martial souls go yellow, yellow, purple, purple, and only then reach black. And me, with just 2 yellow rings. This is no longer a question of whether it's reasonable or outrageous. This idea is simply heaven defying. You don't need to worry. I have my own plans. You've fused with the slaughter skull, and I am residing in your spiritual world, so you have nothing to fear from spiritual shocks. Even the remnant soul of a 100,000-year-old spirit beast is definitely no match for me. So when you absorb a spirit ring, you only need to consider your physical endurance. Besides, once you absorb the blue-silver emperor spirit bone, by the time you're level 30, you'll possess both. 100,000-year spirit ring and 200,000-year spirit bones. Not to mention, one of those spirit bones also has spirit ability that heals you passively and automatically. Wildfire never dies. The spring breeze brings it back to life. With so many powerful items supporting you, even if you can't absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring right now, you're not far off. I believe in you. Zhu Zuqing didn't hesitate in the slightest. Kitten, since that's the case, let's go. Remember to familiarize yourself with the skull's power. Okay, Zhu Zuqing gave a slight nod. She burst forward at full speed, heading straight west, weaving through the forest. Her movements were so agile, her skills so nimble, she was like a real hell civet. I know you're not a bloodthirsty person, nor are you evil. But the world is full of things beyond our control. Since you've inherited my power, you must become stronger by killing. Your path is destined to be paved with blood. From now on, every enemy you encounter, whether human or spirit beast, if they have malicious intent, show no mercy. I understand. Zhu Zuqing's gaze turned sharp. She wouldn't slaughter the innocent, but if killing evil people and spirit beasts could make her stronger, she didn't feel much of a burden about it. Don't talk to her about protecting spirit beasts or sustainable development. After all, when she was being hunted, no one came to protect her. The Star Do Great Forest was fraught with danger. When Zhu Zuqing grew tired from running, as her speed slowed, a strange rustling came from the grass not far away. The next moment, a pack of starving wolves with eerie green eyes, iron gray fur, and bodies over 1.6 meters long, slowly emerged. Under the command of the alpha wolf, the pack gradually spread out, faintly encircling the young girl. Zhu Zuqing lowered her head slightly. In an instant, her martial soul possessed her, transforming her into the civet girl. She flicked her hands, and from within her cute cat paws, spike-like claws shot out. Hell Rush. The spirit ring at her feet flashed, and she erupted with terrifying speed. Like a dark phantom, she darted across the ground, leaving a distinct afterimage in her wake. Swish. The next instant, she appeared before the alpha hell wolf, her claws like sharp spikes, gleaming with a netherworldly cold light. The alpha hell wolf never expected that the girl before it would be so powerful, giving it no chance to react or dodge. Schlick. A soft tearing sound suddenly rang out. The alpha hell wolf's head was pierced by her claws. The other hell wolves didn't even see it clearly, only to find that their leader had already fallen into a pool of blood. Just then, the slaughter skull glowed with an imperceptible red light, and a faint, wolf-shaped gray mist. As if drawn by an unseen force, they floated out from her hand, and were forcefully absorbed. This sight utterly terrified the nether wolf pack. The pack let out a terrified howl in unison and scattered in all directions. Trying to escape? Zhu Zuqing instantly locked onto several of them. Her spirit ring lit up, and with a flicker of her body, she vanished on the spot. A black shadow darted about as a cold light gleamed. One after another, the nether wolves fell to the ground, having lost not only their lives, but their souls as well. Finally, with slightly heavy breaths, Zhu Zuqing stopped the slaughter. Blue blood dripped slowly from her sharp claws, splashing into magnificent flowers on the ground. Around her, not a single nether wolf was left standing. Streams of gray mist flew out from the wolf corpses, and all of it was absorbed by the spirit skull. A burning and stinging sensation suddenly pierced her head, causing Zhu Zuqing to subconsciously gasp. Once the souls were completely devoured, she immediately noticed that her spiritual power seemed to have strengthened a bit. Not a bad performance, but you still need to work on your stamina. Now, let's officially test the power of the skull. Zhu Zuqing grunted in agreement. She closed her eyes and focused, concentrating her spirit on her head. Faintly, she could feel that within the skull's slaughter space, more than 10 illusory figures had appeared. It was the Nether Wolf Pack from before, but now, the wolves' bodies were as ethereal as smoke, their eyes as vacant as a marionette's. White Tiger Slaughter Formation. Zhu Zuqing's eyes shot open. Activating the power of the spirit bone, a blood-red ripple rapidly spread out from her as the center, carrying an aura of slaughter that completely covered an area of 30 meters. The thought from her, the blood-colored ripples on the ground stirred. More than 10 illusory wolf spirits crawled out of the ground, guarding her side like loyal hounds. Zhu Zuqing raised her hand and pointed to the tallest tree. Swoosh, a scarlet light erupted from the eyes of all the wolf spirits. Without the slightest hesitation, they charged towards the giant tree together. Bang, 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 ramming, biting, swiping their claws, all sorts of attacks rained down ceaselessly on the tree. In the next instant, the giant tree, under the wolf pack's relentless assault, came crashing down. A flash of delight passed through Zhu Zuqing's cold eyes. She had only devoured the souls of a dozen hundred-year-old nether wolves. Yet she already possessed this kind of power. If she were to devour more, stronger spirit beasts in the future, wouldn't she become an army of one? CENE3. After a moment of silence, as if having made a decision, she thought. In that case, let the great slaughter begin. Evening came as the sun set in the west. A campfire lit up the night. The little kitty lay beside it, silently licking its wounds. Although its body was covered in injuries, a hint of a pleased smile appeared in its eyes. Not long ago, it had encountered a 3,000-year-old adamantine tiger. The two had engaged in a fierce battle, and in the end, the adamantine tiger fell at its feet. And its soul became the strongest existence in the slaughter space. So, how does it feel? Watching the number of residents in your slaughter space grow, does it give you a strange sense of accomplishment? Zhu Zuqing nodded slightly, the corners of her mouth unconsciously turning up in a barely perceptible arc. The subconscious aversion to killing I once had long since dissipated with the enhancement of the slaughter formation and the sense of accomplishment from collecting pets. Just then, the grass rustled, and 3 burly soul masters stepped out under the cover of night. They had initially seen the firelight and approached to take a look, hoping to see if they could team up, but when they saw that beside the campfire there was only a voluptuous young lady from a wealthy family, the men exchanged a knowing glance. Hey, little lady, what are you doing all alone in the forest? Did your parents run into trouble? Do you need us big brothers to help you out? The scar-faced leader slowly stepped forward, asking questions, while discreetly scanning the surroundings. After confirming that Zhu Zuqing was alone, his smile immediately twisted into a malicious grin. Oh, how did you get hurt, little lady? It breaks my heart to see you like this. Come over here and let your big brother blow on it for you. The 2 men beside him rubbed their hands together, their gazes shamelessly roaming over Zhu Zuqing's body. Zhu Zuqing slowly stood up, looking at the 3 of them with an icy gaze. Her body suddenly grew larger as the white tiger martial soul successfully possessed her. Swoosh, a blood-red 100,000-year spirit ring appeared at her feet, glowing in the night with an eerie and terrifying light. THTH, this is a 100,000-year spirit ring. How is that possible? The 3 soul masters' faces turned pale, as if they had witnessed something utterly terrifying. Their legs suddenly felt weak. Just at that moment, the 100,000-year spirit ring at the girl's feet lit up. White Tiger Vajra Transformation. Zhu Zuqing's aura intensified as her muscles bulged. Her frame instantly grew several sizes larger. In the next moment, Zhu Zuqing moved. Her speed was so great that she left afterimages. She darted through the night like a phantom. Empowered by the white tiger's strength, her nether thrust was devastatingly powerful. Slash. The flash of her claws, one of the men's heads went flying high into the air. Quick, summon your martial souls. The scar-faced man and the big guy shouted in terror. They scrambled backward to summon their spirit rings. An iron blade materialized in the first man's hand, while the other was possessed by a savage bear, his body becoming even more muscular. The spirit rings at their feet were 1 white and 2 yellow. But before the 2 could launch an attack, they saw a white, ethereal figure fly out from the corpse of their beheaded companion. It was devoured in a single bite by the phantom white tiger behind Zhu Zuqing. His soul was eaten. Ghost. The 2 were scared out of their minds. All thoughts of resistance vanished, and they fled in opposite directions. Nether thrust. He felt a gust of wind at his back. The scar-faced man spun around abruptly, holding his iron blade up to defend himself. Clang! The sound of metal on metal rang out. The sharp, spike-like claws were blocked by his iron blade, but that was followed by the sound of flesh being pierced. The scar-faced man's expression froze. He slowly looked down at his chest. He saw a sharp claw buried deep in his chest, and his vision went black. He felt himself begin to float, then he was pulled uncontrollably towards the girl, who had turned and was now charging at the big guy. Meanwhile, Zhu Zuqing was already face to face with the big guy. Nether white claws. Her second spirit ring lit up as she unleashed a barrage of shadowy claws. Like a whirlwind of blades, it swept the tall guy up. Savage Bear's protection. The tall guy activates his soul skill. A phantom of a savage bear appeared around him, blocking each and every attack. Savage Bear's charge. After withstanding the nether white claw, he steeled himself, and with a burst of power, he actually overcame his fear and charged head-on at Zhu Zuqing. In a flash of black, Zhu Zuqing's form vanished before him. Nether piercing thrust. The sound of tearing air came from behind him. He didn't have time to turn and block. Schlick. The tall soul venerable didn't even feel any pain. Everything went black as he collapsed forward uncontrollably. Battle is over. How do you feel? I asked. A bit disgusted, Zhu Zuqing looked inward, then glanced at the three who had just been added to the slaughter space. The thought of three disgusting guys inside her own mind made her feel indescribably uncomfortable. With a single thought, the eyes of the other dead souls in the slaughter space immediately began to glow crimson. The next moment, they all swarmed forward, completely devouring the three men. 2 days later, Zhu Zuqing finally emerged from the forest. She made her way to Nuoding City and found the 13 blacksmiths. The clanging of hammers on anvils was incessant. Many brawny men were busy forging. Following my instructions, Zhu Zuqing walked inside. What can I get for you? Sir, I'd like to have a sharp blade forge. Little lady, do you have any special requirements? I heard there's a very skilled craftsman here. I'd like him to use the best materials to forge the finest dagger. It needs to be able to cut through a soul beast. A skilled craftsman? You must be talking about Tang San. That kid's workmanship is truly something else. He even knows the legendary disorderly splitting windhammer method. But unfortunately, you've come too late. He's about to graduate. He's already given me his notice. He graduates and leaves the academy the day after tomorrow. I wonder which academy he'll go to next. I see. Uncle, we'll leave it at that for now then. I'll be back in a few days to pick up the dagger. Having gotten the information she wanted, Zhu Zuqing smiled, paid the deposit, and left. After waiting for several days, Nuoding Academy graduation ceremony was finally held. Afterward, Tang San left the school with Xiao Wu. It wasn't until noon, when I estimated Tang San had already reached Suotuo City, that I finally said, alright, it's time. Let's set out for Holy Spirit Village. Zhu Zuqing slipped away from Nuoding City. She ducked into the forest and made her way towards Holy Spirit Village. In just half an hour, she laid eyes on the renowned Holy Spirit Village. Following my directions, after more than an hour, she finally heard the thundering roar of a waterfall. She saw a magnificent cascade that seemed to connect the heavens and the earth, pouring down into a valley filled with flourishing life. A wondrous scene teeming with vitality. It's so beautiful. Is this where the Blue-Silver Emperor is located? That's right, there's a cave behind the waterfall. The Blue-Silver Emperor is deep inside. Upon hearing this, Zhu Zuqing turned her head to look at the rushing waterfall. Immediately, spirit power erupted from her feet as she leapt into the waterfall. Soon, in the deepest part of the cave, in a dark, damp, and crude stone chamber, a slender and special blue-silver grass with golden patterns was planted all alone. The entire space felt utterly oppressive. Zhu Zuqing froze on the spot. She really couldn't understand what kind of sane person would plant a blue-silver grass in a hellish place like this. Shouldn't blue-silver grass prefer a sunny environment like the one outside? With fresh air, my 100,000-year spirit ring lit up. I appeared outside using my white tiger clone. Don't ask me how. You can ask Tang Hao about it later. Meanwhile, sensing the unfamiliar presence, the blue-silver emperor's slender body trembled slightly. It was terrified. I ignored the blue-silver emperor. I stepped forward and pressed a stone, and a black rectangular iron box dropped from above. Landing squarely in my hands, I tossed the box to Zhu Zuqing. The usually composed girl couldn't help but gulp. Even the fingers touching the iron box were trembling slightly. She took a deep breath and opened the lid. Instantly, an incomparable aura of life surged out from it. Inside the box, a completely translucent, blue-gold right leg bone lay quietly. Its shape was perfect, with fine golden specks swirling across its surface, emitting a gentle yet vast aura of life. It was a stark contrast to the cold, bloodthirsty slaughter skull. The 100,000-year blue-silver emperor's right leg bone. Zhu Zuqing's voice was a bit hoarse. She couldn't resist reaching out to touch it, but just at that moment, the previously timid blue-silver emperor suddenly moved. Its leaves stretched out, gently but firmly wrapping around Zhu Zuqing's wrist. "Let go of me," Zhu Zuqing said coldly, instinctively struggling a little. Although the blue-silver grass was tough, Zhu Zuqing was a quasi-spirit ancestor, after all. Its grip couldn't affect her movements at all. In fact, its own body was slightly uprooted. But despite this, it didn't let go of her wrist. Its resolve was surprisingly firm. She says this spirit bone was left for her husband and son. "You can't take it." I sensed the blue-silver emperor's mental fluctuations, and translated for her. Her husband and son? Isn't this blue-silver emperor a descendant of the 100,000-year blue-silver emperor that Tang Hao killed? Clearly, the girl had misunderstood something. "It's a long story," I calmly recounted. "The love story of Yin and Tang Hao." 10 minutes later, "Is what you said true?" Zhu Zuqing mused for a moment, and she suddenly blurted out a question. "Are you sure they weren't enemies?" As soon as she said that, not only did a question mark slowly appear over my head, but even the blue-silver emperor's leaves wrapped around her wrist loosened a little. Why would you think they were enemies? For a moment, I really couldn't follow the little kitty's logic. I mean, sure, there are conspiracy theories about Tang Hao and Yin, but I'm pretty sure I never told her about them. "You're a local. Shouldn't you be moved to tears by this love that transcends species? This place is dark and damp, unsuitable for plants to grow. A normal blue-silver grass would probably have withered long ago. Blue-silver emperor was planted here, unable to properly live. And unable to die. Its cultivation speed has also been greatly reduced. If they were truly lovers once, I really can't figure it out. Why would Tang Hao imprison Yin here instead of planting her outside? I'm surprised you have the sense to think of that. Couldn't it have been for safety? I don't see any signs of spirit beast activity around here. The valley outside should be safe," Zhu Zuqing continued. "And even if it wasn't safe, if he truly loved her, couldn't he have kept her by his side to protect her personally, or entrusted her to a high-level blue-silver grass for protection?" After hearing this analysis, the blue-silver grass coiled around the young woman. It seemed to loosen its grip a bit, its leaves drooping. It seemed a little sad. Zhu Zuqing looked at the blue-silver emperor gripping her hand tightly. She couldn't help but feel a sliver of pity. No matter if the story is as I've told it, or if there's some hidden truth no one knows, without a doubt, Yin is the one who was hurt the most. She is truly pitiful. I smiled, walked up behind the young woman, and asked unhurriedly, "So, you've gone soft? You're not going to absorb the spirit bone anymore?" Zhu Zuqing's expression turned cold, and she shook her head firmly. "No, pity is one thing, but who isn't pitiful? When I was fighting for my life to get stronger in the Star Luo imperial family, did anyone pity me? When I was targeted by everyone? When I was abandoned? When I was hunted down? Who pitied me then?" Zhu Zuqing gently stroked the spirit bone. "This is a 100,000-year spirit bone. A full 100,000 years. This spirit bone was the key piece to changing her destiny. Even if she were a complete airhead, she would never give up a 100,000-year spirit bone." "Little kitty, you've grown." I let out a smile. "Since the spirit bone is in your hands, what do you think we should do with it?" Zhu Zuqing was silent for a moment, then her eyes turned cold. Kill it. Hailing from the Star Luo Empire, she was not an indecisive person. Now that she had stolen the blue-silver emperor's spirit bone, it meant she had made a mortal enemy of the Clear Sky Duoluo, who was legendary for being able to kill even the previous supreme pontiff. Rather than leaving a loose end, it's better to pull out the root of the problem now. Besides, it would be putting this pitiful plant out of its misery sooner and saving it from any more suffering. Good thinking. Hearing the answer I wanted, my smile grew wider. However, they say the blue-silver emperor can't be killed. In any case, we have a storage spirit tool that can hold living things. Let's just pack it up and take it with us. Who knows, it might be useful later. Good. Zhu Zuqing nodded, and directly took the blue-silver emperor along with its roots and its small clump of soil into her spirit tool. Boom! The blue-silver grass gently brushed against her hand, offering no resistance. It only conveyed a sense of sorrow. Zhu Zuqing swept back her long hair, model. After placing the soul bone into the storage earring and finishing all that, she didn't linger and immediately left the cave. She ran for hundreds of miles without stopping, right until nightfall. Finally stopping in an extremely hidden cave. After Zhu Zuqing caught her breath, she solemnly took out the iron box and retrieved the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone. Even in the dark of night, the soul bone radiated a soft, blue-gold luster. The aura of life was so dense it was almost tangible. "Next up, I'm counting on you to protect me." Zhu Zuqing nodded at me. She then sat cross-legged and pressed the soul bone against her right leg. In an instant, the soul bone transformed into a stream of blue-gold light, becoming pure energy that fused into her right leg. A cool sensation spread from her leg throughout her entire body. Her bones began to crackle and pop as they became denser and harder. Her muscle fibers restructured, becoming more flexible and powerful. Her capacity to hold soul power increased explosively. She could even feel her own life force surging. Perhaps knowing I was there to protect her, the girl actually curled up and comfortably drifted off to sleep. She slept for one whole day and one night, right up until the third day. Only then did the girl open her sleepy eyes and quickly check her body. I've gotten stronger again. My physical constitution has actually doubled. Zhu Zuqing was in disbelief. You have to understand, her body had already been strengthened once by my sacrifice. Her physical constitution was already comparable to a soul ancestor's, and now it's doubled again. I'm afraid she has already surpassed an ordinary soul ancestor. Don't be surprised. Ah Yin's soul bone is just that nourishing. The soul skill is the real key. Take your time and feel it. Zhu Zuqing focused her mind, turning her attention inward to her right leg bone. The next moment, a look of delight blossomed on her face once more. I can fly. Flying is everyone's dream. For a typical soul master, one must cultivate to the rank of titled dueluo to be able to master the ability of flight, and the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone grants soul skill that includes flight. Although she didn't understand why a blade of grass could fly, that wasn't important. Flying is great, but the other soul skill is the main event, I reminded her. The ultimate principle of the blue-silver emperor is, wildfire cannot burn it away, for the spring breeze brings it back to life. With this soul skill, as long as you're not dead, and you still have soul power, even if you're down to your last breath, you'll be able to recover. As I said this, I suddenly paused, my expression turning profound. More importantly, this soul skill can even regenerate severed limbs. Zhu Zuqing was stunned. Across the entire continent, there weren't many soul skills that could regenerate limbs. Even the legendary spirit whose skills are all for healing, the 9-heart flowering apple, probably can't regenerate a severed limb, can it? Little kitty, are you afraid of pain? I asked suddenly. If it can make me stronger, I'm not afraid, no matter how much it hurts, Zhu Zuqing replied without a hint of hesitation. She had already endured the pain of fusing with the skull bone. What else was there that she couldn't endure? If you're really not afraid of the pain, then just take the spirit bones from my inheritance and fuse with them. Didn't you say I wasn't allowed to fuse with spirit bones less than 100,000 years old? The girl asked, confused. I've changed my mind. I looked down at the girl's right leg bone. Things are different now. Before, you didn't have the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone, so of course it was out of the question. Zhu Zuqing suddenly froze. You mean? That's right. I nodded. I looked at the girl calmly. If you're really not afraid of the pain, then you should fuse with the spirit bones first to increase your strength. When you find better spirit bones in the future, you can just sever your limb to remove the bone, and then regenerate a new one. Zhu Zuqing was stunned. This was the first time she'd ever heard of such a tactic. It's your body. The decision is yours, so now the decision is mine. Zhu Zuqing rolled her eyes inwardly. But she didn't say anything. 100,000 years was too long to wait. All she wanted was to seize the day. She raised her hand and took a hold of something. She took out a sandalwood box. The nether left leg bone of fleeting shadow and startling grace. Fuse. Steps like a phantom, graceful as a startled swan. She raised her hand a second time. She took out another sandalwood box. The flame left arm bone of blazing burst. Fuse. Fists like flowing fire. With the force of a wildfire. She raised her hand a third time. She took out yet another sandalwood box. The bedrock right arm bone of sundering mountains. Fuse. Strength to shake mountains. The force of a landslide. 3 spirit bones. The fusion took several hours. Is this the power of spirit bones? Zhu Zuqing stood up and moved her body around a bit. She could feel that although her spirit power hadn't increased, her physical constitution had already reached a new peak. Now, even without using her spirit abilities, she could compete with an ordinary spirit ancestor on physical strength alone. Her constitution was probably no less than that of a 50th level quasi-spirit king. Not to mention, she also gained 3 new spirit abilities: Sundering Mountains, Blazing Burst, and Fleeting Shadow and Startling Grace. Now, your physical fitness and combat power have been greatly enhanced. You should be able to absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring now. Then we can go hunt for my 3rd spirit ring now. At the thought of having a chance to possess a 10,000-year 3rd spirit ring, Zhu Zuqing's heart burned with excitement. A few days ago, she was just a grand spirit master on the run. But now, she had almost collected all 6 spirit bones. We can, I nodded faintly. Zhu Zuqing immediately set off, speeding towards the Star Do Great Forest. As evening fell, the sky grew dark. Zhu Zuqing finally arrived at a small town just 100 li away from the Star Do Great Forest. The town wasn't large, but there were many spirit masters. Inns and taverns lined both sides of the street, mostly filled with spirit hunting teams and adventurers resting here. She casually found an ordinary inn and took a seat by the window. A few side dishes had been ordered, and they had just all been served. When a group of people streamed into the restaurant, the one in the lead was an incredibly burly middle-aged man. Behind him was a young lady with a pure aura, a chubby kid with sleazy eyes, and a gruff man with a full beard. There was also a handsome boy with a calm, steady gaze, and a lively girl with a scorpion tail braid. Zhu Zuqing's chopsticks froze in midair for a moment. Tang San, the one she had met only once, the poor guy whose family she had just stolen from. And now, his mother, whom he had never even met, was still being carried around by her. It felt all kinds of wrong. Her expression was icy as she picked up a piece of food, but inside, a complicated wave of emotion stirred. But that feeling quickly froze solid the moment her eyes landed on someone. It was because she saw a boy who stood out from the crowd. Dai Mubai. Zhu Zuqing's heart skipped a beat, and her expression grew even colder. Even though she had barely ever met this so-called fiancé of hers, there was no mistaking his distinct features. What's more, her white tiger and nether spirit cat martial souls were now faintly resonating with Dai Mubai in a peculiar way. Well, look who it is, your little fiancé. In her spiritual world, I said with a teasing tone, so? What now? Are you going to rush over for a reunion? Put on a show about the runaway fiancé, searching 1,000 miles for her man? And then, like a little homeless kitten, you'll beg him to take you in? I don't need to. Zhu Zuqing replied resolutely in her mind. With or without him, I can change my own destiny all by myself now. She was no longer that same helpless little kitten who could only be swept away by fate, trembling through her clan's infighting. Now, she had twin martial souls. She had 5 soul bones. And she had me. Even without Dai Mubai, she had the confidence to live on just fine. However, as much as Zhu Zuqing wanted to ignore Dai Mubai, that didn't mean he would ignore her. Dai Mubai just thought that this black-haired girl by the window looked somewhat familiar. At the same time, he faintly felt a strange resonance coming from the white tiger martial soul within him. That, combined with her cold and aloof aura, instantly sparked his desire to conquer her. Whoa, Boss Dai, you've got a sharp eye. Spotting a pretty girl that fast, Ma Hongjun said with a suggestive wink. Cut the nonsense. Watch and learn from me. A confident smirk touched Dai Mubai's lips as he walked straight toward her. Excuse me, miss, all by yourself? He walked up to Zhu Zuqing's table and flashed what he considered a charming, gentlemanly smile. My name is Dai Mubai, a spirit elder. Seeing as you're here alone and have such an extraordinary presence, I was wondering if we could be friends? Hitting on his own fiancé, right to her face. He really is something else. What a character, I added with a bit of a tease. Not interested, Zhu Zuqing said without even turning her head. He asked coldly, what's your name, miss? Dai Mubai didn't mind her attitude. Why be so distant? He pulled out a chair and sat right down. Meeting like this is fate. I see you're also going to the Star Do Forest to hunt for a spirit ring. Why don't we travel together? We can watch each other's backs. No need. Are you worried I have bad intentions? Dai Mubai laughed. Don't worry. I, Dai Mubai, am an open and honorable person. I just feel like we have a connection. Open and honorable? Zhu Zuqing finally looked up. She glanced at Dai Mubai with a hint of sarcasm. She found it quite amusing. While she was struggling back in the Star Luo Empire, this guy ran off on his own to the Heaven Do Empire to chase skirts. And now, look at him, fawning all over a strange woman here. Great, just great. Her eyes flashed with a cold light. Is this how you hit on other women? Of course not. I just think you're different from other women. There are stars twinkling in your eyes. There wasn't a hint of embarrassment on Dai Mubai's face. Instead, his smile widened. In a dangerous place like this, having one more friend is never a bad thing. What do you think? Hey, Zhu Zuqing snorted coldly and got up to leave. Hey, what's your problem? Just then, a displeased voice cut in. Hey, girlie, don't think you're all that just because you're pretty. Our boss Dai is doing you a favor by inviting you. The sleazy little fatty, Ma Hongjun, sidled up. Our boss Dai is a true genius. At 15, he was already a level 37 spirit elder. His future is limitless. It's your good fortune to even meet him. Hearing this, Zhu Zuqing's gaze grew even colder. She despised this kind of self-righteous bootlicker the most. Move. Hey, I won't move. Ma Hongjun put his hands on his hips. Swaying his body, he said in a very punchable tone. If you've got the guts, why don't you just step over me? Before he could finish his sentence, Zhu Zuqing had already kicked out. She didn't even use her spirit power. It was a kick of pure physical strength. Empowered by 5 soul bones, the kick was as fast as lightning. Ma Hongjun couldn't even see the movement. He just felt a sharp pain in his stomach, and his whole body was sent flying backward like a human cannonball. He crashed through 2 tables before finally stopping. Peeved, Ma Hongjun spat out a mouthful of blood and struggled to get up. He stared at the young woman in the distance, a mix of shock and anger. In the hotel, there was a sudden silence. "Fatty, are you okay?" Tang San and Oscar immediately rushed over. They helped Ma Hongjun up from the floor. "Daddy's got a big sausage." Oscar quickly chanted the spell, creating a recovery sausage. He put it in Ma Hongjun's mouth, and the latter took a huge bite. He stared fiercely at Zhu Zuqing. "This girl, to be so ruthless over a simple disagreement, isn't that a bit much?" Tang San stepped forward, looking at Zhu Zuqing with a frown. "So now this is my fault?" Zhu Zuqing looked up at the aggrieved Tang San. "I admit, Fatty was in the wrong first. He was rude, but you didn't have to be so petty about it. And attack him so brutally." Tang San instinctively placed himself on the moral high ground. "Exactly, I know Fatty is a bit disgusting. But you were way too vicious." Xiao Wu didn't hesitate for a second. She immediately sided with Tang San, without even considering how badly she herself had beaten others who acted just like Ma Hongjun. "Ha!" Zhu Zuqing let out a cold snort. Any guilt she felt towards Tang San vanished completely. After all, if he could say anything just to protect one of his own, then couldn't she just as well admit, "Even though I absorbed your mother's spirit bone and stole your mother away, you shouldn't get worked up with a little girl like me, right? A double standard, anyone can play that game." "Fatty, are you alright?" Dai Mubai went over to check on him. He said quietly, "We still have to go into the forest tomorrow to hunt spirit beasts. You need to save your energy. Why don't we just let this go?" He wasn't saying this because he was so noble or good-tempered. It was just that he'd rarely met a woman who was not only his type, but whose martial soul also resonated with his. He wanted to patch things up before it got serious, so maybe they could get to know each other better later. To achieve his goal, his good brother who'd stood up for him would just have to suffer a little. But when Ma Hongjun heard this, he mistakenly thought Dai Mubai was genuinely concerned for him. Ma Hongjun was incredibly moved. "Boss Dai, don't say another word, this isn't over." Ma Hongjun angrily stepped forward, and a magenta light flared from his body. His short hair suddenly grew into a coxcomb-like mohawk, and feathers sprouted from his hands. His fingers turned into claws, and 2 yellow spirit rings rose from beneath his feet. This bizarre transformation made Zhu Zuqing pause for a moment. "Ha ha ha, scared stiff, are you?" Ma Hongjun roared with laughter. "Hey, girly, my martial soul is a top-tier one, the fire chicken." Zhu Zuqing softly repeated the name. Ning Ronggrong, who was watching the show, and Xiao Wu couldn't help but burst out laughing. That description was much more fitting than common fowl. A phoenix, an evil fire phoenix, not a fire chicken. Ma Hongjun's face flushed red with anger. "You can kill a warrior, but you can't insult him. Don't think I won't hit a woman." Zhu Zuqing gave him a cold glance, not bothering to respond. Ma Hongjun wouldn't let it go. In a flash, he blocked her path. "Release your martial soul, I'm going to teach you a proper lesson." Zhu Zuqing moved. She didn't even summon her martial soul. With just a flicker of her body, she shot forward like a black shadow. Everything went blurry for Ma Hongjun. He didn't even have time to unleash his phoenix fireline. Then, a sharp pain shot through his abdomen, and he instinctively curled into a ball. Seizing the opportunity, Zhu Zuqing adjusted her stance. With a twist of her slender waist, she unleashed a fierce side kick. Ma Hongjun was sent flying backward like a sandbag, his arms flailing in the air. He barely managed to regain his footing. Fiery Phoenix, Phoenix Fireline. Ma Hongjun gritted his teeth through the pain. He activated 2 spirit abilities at once as an evil fire flickered across his body. The phantom of a lowly chicken appeared, and the moment his firepower was amplified, he immediately opened his mouth and shot a searing line of fire at Zhu Zuqing. But he was too slow. The phoenix flame had barely left his mouth when the girl, shooting forward like an arrow, was already behind the fatty, unleashing a powerful dragon's tail whip. Whack! The immense force sent Ma Hongjun's entire body flying like a sandbag again, crashing through several tables before he stopped. Ma Hongjun's face was deathly pale as he violently coughed up a mouthful of blood. His martial soul dissipated, and he clutched his butt, howling in agony. The entire room fell silent. Everyone was completely stunned. This slender, cold-looking girl had done all that without even using her martial soul. "Fatty, are you okay?" Tang San and Oscar helped Ma Hongjun up again. "Boss Dai," Ma Hongjun wailed, "she wasn't just hitting my butt. She was clearly slapping you in the face, Boss Dai." Hearing this, Dai Mubai's expression darkened. He could tolerate Ma Hongjun's usual antics, but he could never tolerate one of his brothers, who was standing up for him, being publicly beaten to a pulp. He took a step forward. "Young lady, you can't just injure my brother and walk away like that. You owe me an explanation." He unleashed the aura of a level 37 spirit elder. 3 spirit rings slowly spun at his feet. "An explanation?" Zhu Zuqing stopped in her tracks and turned to face Dai Mubai. A faint, mocking smile touched her lips. "Are you sure you want an explanation from me?" "That's right," Dai Mubai said gravely. "My brother may have been in the wrong, but you were far too harsh. Either you apologize, or..." Zhu Zuqing didn't answer. She simply turned and walked out of the inn. A noticeable fluctuation of spirit power emanated from her. "Fine, if that's how you want it, then let's settle this with our fists." The thrill of battle gleamed in Dai Mubai's eyes as he followed her out of the inn. "Teacher Zhao, what should we do?" Seeing this, the rest of the Shrek group could only look to the one sitting to the side, casually sipping his tea. "Zhao Wuji. What are you looking at me for?" Zhao Wuji took a calm sip of tea and said serenely, "It's true that only a fool never causes trouble, but someone who stirs up trouble and then can only run to their elders is the biggest fool of all. You're all peers. Don't tell me the 6 of you can't handle this yourselves? Let's settle this quickly. We still have to go into the forest tomorrow. It's getting late, the night is dark and the wind is high." Just as Tang San and the others walked out of the hotel, they saw Zhu Zuqing and Dai Mubai already standing opposite each other, tensions high. "Young lady, no matter who wins or loses, let this matter end here." C3. Dai Mubai looked at the cold young woman before him, a wicked gleam in his eyes. Dai Mubai, Martial Soul, White Tiger. A level 37 power attack type battle soul master. "Your guidance, please." He gave a slight bow, then immediately took a fighting stance. Zhu Zuqing didn't say a word, just stared at him coldly. White Tiger, Possession. Dai Mubai let out a low growl and directly activated his martial soul possession. The character for King appeared on his forehead, and his hands transformed into tiger paws. Beneath his feet, 2 yellow and 1 purple, 3 soul rings, materialized. Civet, Possession. Zhu Zuqing also summoned her martial soul, instantly transforming into a civet girl. Spike-like claws shot out from her cute cat paws, glinting sharply in the moonlight. 2 yellow soul rings floated around her. The nether civet. The moment he saw the girl's martial soul, Dai Mubai's pupils shrank. He gasped in shock. He was all too familiar with this martial soul. It was the legacy martial soul of the Star Luo Zhu family. The White Tiger and Nether Civet Soul Masters, as long as they have enough synergy, can perform the martial soul fusion skill, Nether White Tiger. "You're Zhu Zuqing?" Looking at the cold girl before him, Dai Mubai's voice was filled with disbelief. Even someone as dense as him had figured it out. No wonder she looked familiar. No wonder there was a martial soul resonance. It turned out the person he was hitting on was the fiancé he had abandoned. Zhu Zuqing didn't admit it, nor did she deny it. Her eyes held nothing but indifference. "Do you still want that explanation?" Dai Mubai was at a loss for words. He was speechless. He had abandoned his fiancé, hit on her like a stranger, and what's even more ridiculous, he was about to beat up his own fiancé. The atmosphere was incredibly awkward. Weren't they supposed to be fighting? Why haven't they started? It seems like they know each other. Could it be they used to be a couple? Xiao Wu couldn't help but say. But from the way they were acting just now, they didn't seem to know each other that well. Oscar shook his head. "I've been at Shrek for years and never heard Boss Dai mention her, or seen him bring her back." The Nether Civet and the White Tiger martial souls are both from the Star Luo Empire's royal family and the Zhu family's legacy martial souls. The two families have intermarried for generations. Ning Ronggrong spoke up, offering her own speculation. "If I'm not mistaken, they should have a marriage engagement. They just haven't seen each other much." The group gasped. How did they go from opponents to an engaged couple just like that? Doesn't this mean I got beat up for nothing? Thinking about what he had just done, Ma Hongjun felt like a complete clown. Can you believe it? Who's going to answer to whom here? Zhu Zuqing added, her icy expression and tone filled with scorn. Dai Mubai was speechless. He opened his mouth to speak, but found he couldn't say a word. Zhu Zuqing had no patience for his excuses. In a flash, she launched her attack. Nether thrust. Her body flickered like a phantom. Her speed was far beyond what Dai Mubai had anticipated. White Tiger protective barrier. In his haste, he could only cross his arms to defend himself. At the same time, he unleashed his first soul skill with all his might. Thud. The golden light had barely manifested before it was torn to shreds by her purple glowing claws. Dai Mubai felt a massive force travel up his arms, sending him stumbling back several steps. Deep cuts appeared on both of his hands, with dark red blood dripping from them. Such power, Dai Mubai thought in shock. Zhu Zuqing was only a Grand Soul Master, yet with that one full-powered strike, her strength was just as strong, if not stronger, than his as a level 37 Soul Venerable. But before he could even process it, Zhu Zuqing was already behind him. Both her claws were raised high, nether 100 claws. As her second soul ring flared to life, she unleashed countless claw shadows. The attacks came from every direction, cutting off all of Dai Mubai's escape routes. White Tiger Vajra transformation. Dai Mubai dared not hold back any longer. His third soul ring flashed, and his already powerful muscles swelled to an even greater size. In an instant, his defense and attack power doubled. He shifted his stance and spun around. Swatting with both tiger paws with all his strength, he scattered most of the claw shadows. But a few still managed to land on him, and just then, Zhu Zuqing suddenly dropped low, planting her right hand on the ground as a pivot, and launched herself into the air, kicking out viciously with both feet, one after the other, squarely into Dai Mubai's legs. Thwack, thwack. With his legs struck, a grimace of pain flashed across Dai Mubai's face. He lost his balance and staggered uncontrollably. Nether thrust. Zhu Zuqing lunged forward, her sharp claws, cloaked in nether power, aimed for Dai Mubai's stumbling body. In that moment of crisis, Dai Mubai activated his white tiger protective barrier once more as a golden light flared up. Empowered by his white tiger Vajra transformation, the barrier barely managed to successfully block the nether thrust. Her attack failing, Zhu Zuqing didn't press her advantage. With a swift slide, she changed her position and attacked with her claws again. Dai Mubai struggled to raise his arms and block. After just a few hits, his hands started to feel numb. He just couldn't understand, why was this fiancé he'd barely ever met so incredibly strong? And so fast? It was as if he was the Grand Soul Master, and she was the Soul Venerable. Now's my chance. After blocking several of her attacks, Dai Mubai's eyes lit up. Finally, at the cost of taking a significant wound, he managed to grab Zhu Zuqing's wrist. He immediately pleaded, his voice sincere, "Zuqing, please, just give me a chance." A chance. Zhu Zuqing's expression faltered for a moment, and even the other claw aimed at Dai Mubai paused. Yes. Seeing this, Dai Mubai thought he had a chance. He quickly said, "Give me a chance. If we just work together, we might actually be able to defy our destiny." At that moment, his words were filled with sincerity, since Zhu Zuqing was able to fight him as a spirit grandmaster. Then if they risked their lives and worked together, maybe they wouldn't lose to those several years their senior, Davis and Zhu Zuyan. But what he never expected was, it would have been better if he hadn't said anything. The moment he did, an ice-cold killing intent instantly flashed in the girl's eyes. "That's not necessary. Even without you, I can control my own destiny. Now, let's settle this once and for all." Zhu Zuqing's reasoning was simple. Back in Star Luo, Dai Mubai never thought about working together. When he abandoned her to run away, he never thought about working together. When he was messing around with other women, he never thought about working together. And now, seeing how exceptionally talented and powerful she was, he suddenly wants to work together? How ironic, how laughable. What? Dai Mubai's face fell. He had no idea what he'd said wrong. He could only feel instinctively that Zhu Zuqing's eyes, at this very moment, had become incredibly dangerous. Nether thrust. Zhu Zuqing flipped her cat-like claws, like a set of daggers, aiming for Dai Mubai's hand that was gripping her wrist. *SHNK. Even with his protective barrier up, Dai Mubai still felt a sharp pain in his arm, and let go of Zhu Zuqing's hand. At almost the exact same instant, the second spirit ring at Zhu Zuqing's feet lit up. Whoosh! Nether 100 claws formed a storm of shadowy claws that rained down, each strike fiercely sharp. Damn it, Dai Mubai could only do his best to parry with his arms, while looking for an opportunity to counterattack. But Zhu Zuqing wasn't scared at all. In fact, her assault grew even more ferocious. Her figure weaved around Dai Mubai, her claw strikes forming a net that forced him back again and again. Everyone watching was stunned. Boss Dai is actually being pushed back? Oscar rubbed his eyes in disbelief. This girl is no joke. A grave look crossed Tang San's eyes. He could tell that Zhu Zuqing's combat skills were extremely refined, and her sense of timing was nothing short of perfect. He asked himself honestly if he didn't use his hidden weapons, there's no way he could overpower Dai Mubai so easily. She's so strong, even Boss Dai is no match for her. Ma Hongjun clutched his still throbbing rear, his face turning pale. He finally realized that with those two kicks Zhu Zuqing gave him earlier, he had actually gone easy on him. Interesting. Zhao Wuji stroked his chin, his eyes glinting with immense interest. This little gal, she's a monster too, huh? Meanwhile, Dai Mubai was already covered in sweat. Damn it, she really wants to kill me. Zhu Zuqing's dangerous attacks weren't meant to teach him a lesson. But to kill him, nether 100 claws. Just then, Zhu Zuqing in front of him exploded into action again. Her claws fell like rain, continuous and unrelenting. Break. Dai Mubai steeled himself, maintaining the white tiger protective barrier and unleashing the white tiger light wave. Searing white blast of light erupted, colliding with the claw shadows. Boom, an explosion suddenly erupted, a thin layer of smoke appeared between them. Nether thrust. Zhu Zuqing's body flickered, transforming into a bolt of black lightning that shot forward. The black shadow appeared behind Dai Mubai in an instant, both cat claws piercing forward at the same time. Aiming straight for his heart. What? Dai Mubai hastily turned and raised his arms, and his white tiger protective barrier had just lit up. And it was torn apart by a single claw. Pow! With a heavy thud, Dai Mubai was sent flying backward, crashing through a tree on the side of the street as thick as a bowl before finally coming to a stop. Cough, cough. He coughed up a mouthful of blood, his eyes filled with shock. Is this really the power a Grandmaster should have? He couldn't even block it using his white tiger diamond transformation and protective barrier together. But Zhu Zuqing didn't even give him time to be horrified. She closed in like a ghost. Her cat claws cut through the air, creating a sharp whistling sound. She used nether 100 claws again, but this time, each claw shadow was as solid as a real object, filled with a cold killing intent. As if a demon from the netherworld had come to claim his life. Damn it, white tiger light wave. Dai Mubai roared angrily, firing 2 terrifyingly powerful golden light waves in succession. One met the nether 100 claws head on, while the other tried to force Zhu Zuqing back. However, Zhu Zuqing dropped low, practically sliding along the ground, perfectly dodging the light wave. At the same time, she landed a vicious whip kick on the side of Dai Mubai's knee. The bone shuddered in pain. Dai Mubai grunted. He involuntarily dropped to one knee, but he was a spirit elder, after all. His combat instincts were strong. Enduring the intense pain, he brought his thick tiger palm, swinging back towards Zhu Zuqing's face. The palm was powerful and heavy, almost shattering the air. Zhu Zuqing didn't dodge or evade. Her spirit ring lit up, and her right cat claw accelerated to meet it. Nether thrust. Clang. A sound like colliding metal exploded. Dai Mubai felt an overwhelming force surge toward him, his entire arm going numb in an instant. His half-kneeling body was knocked backwards uncontrollably, and he collapsed to the ground. Meanwhile, Zhu Zuqing's other cat claw was already pressed against the front of his throat. The sharp tip of the claw pierced his skin, and a drop of blood trickled down his neck. Just a little further, and her spike-like cat claw was about to pierce Dai Mubai's neck, but her hand stopped. Although she hated what Dai Mubai had done, they didn't have a deep-seated hatred for each other. Dai Mubai's abandonment and cowardice had chilled her to the bone, but it wasn't a crime punishable by death. Meanwhile, Zhu Zuqing slowly raised her head, looking at Zhao Wuoyuqi, who had appeared by Dai Mubai's side at some point. He seemed at ease, with a smile on his face. In reality, the powerful aura emanating from him had already transformed into an immense pressure weighing down on her. This guy's a pretty strong spirit saint. You're no match for him right now. My voice sounded at just the right moment. If you really want to kill him, wait until you become a spirit elder. Then you can kill him whenever you want. Zhu Zuqing didn't answer me, merely retracting her sharp claws. She moved her hand away from Dai Mubai's neck, and Dai Mubai slowly raised his head. Gazing up at Zhu Zuqing, who was looking down on him, the moonlight spilling across the girl's cold face. In those beautiful and mysterious cat-like eyes, there was no joy of victory. No pleasure of having taken revenge, only an icy indifference. It was as if defeating him was just a trivial, insignificant matter. This indifference, more than anger, mockery, or contempt, chilled Dai Mubai to the bone and pained him. It was as if he wasn't even worthy of her gaze. He let out a muffled grunt, coughing up another mouthful of blood, his face as pale as paper. The dignified, level 37 spirit elder, a monster, spirit master from Shrek Academy, had actually been defeated by his own spirit grandmaster fiancé, and the defeat was so complete. The whole crowd was silent. Tang San and the others looked at each other, all feeling a bit awkward. If their opponent had just been of a higher rank, then even if they were in the wrong for breaking their pre-battle promise, they could have all ganged up on her. But the opponent was supposedly Dai Mubai's fiancé, and her rank was even lower than his. By at least 7 levels in an entire major realm. They really had no idea how to step in. The engagement is off. Zhu Zuqing finally spoke, her voice as cold as ice. She turned and walked towards the hotel. Young lady, wait. Zhao Wuoyuqi stood up. His voice boomed, little girl, anyone who injures a student of our Shrek Academy doesn't get to walk away that easily. Zhao Wuoyuqi grinned, his tone half threatening and half coaxing as he spoke. However, I can see that your talent and power are exceptional. So, how about it? Are you interested in joining our Shrek Academy? I am Zhao Wou Qi, the Vice President of Shrek Academy. Level 76 Spirit Saint, Zhao Wou Qi introduced. Our academy has an incredibly strong faculty, with no shortage of powerful spirit emperors and spirit saints. What's more, our academy only accepts genius spirit masters who can be considered monsters. If you're willing to join, I and the other teachers will absolutely ensure you are trained to your fullest potential. See them? He pointed towards Tang San and the others behind him. These are all the little monsters from our academy. The lowest ranked among them is already level 26. They should be qualified enough to be your classmates, don't you think, monster? Zhu Zuqing finally turned around, shooting a cool, cautionary glance at Dai Mubai. Her gaze then swept across Tang San, Xiao Wu, Oscar, Ma Hongjun, and Ning Ronggrong. Not interested, Zhu Zuqing shook her head slightly. She spoke, her tone completely unwavering. Zhao Wuji's face stiffened. He hadn't expected such a direct refusal. His eyes narrowed, and he released the pressure of a soul saint, directing it at Zhu Zuqing. Little girl, are you sure you want to refuse me? Yes, Zhu Zuqing's voice didn't hesitate. She looked at Zhao Wuji without a trace of fear. The smile on Zhao Wuji's face slowly faded. And what if I insist that you join? I won't. Zhu Zuqing's face was as cold as ice. Unconsciously, she had already summoned her martial soul, her soul power surging within her. The atmosphere suddenly became tense, as if a fight could break out at any moment. Ahem, Teacher Zhao, just let it go. Dai Mubai grabbed Zhao Wuji's calf, shaking his head with a bitter smile. He knew that Zhu Zuqing had already made her choice. That icy gaze told him she wasn't interested in Shrek. The relationship between them was now completely over. HMPH. He sighed. Forget it, you can go. Hey, Zhu Zuqing let out a short, cold laugh. She didn't spare Dai Mubai another glance. She turned and walked into the hotel without looking back. Back in the hotel room, there was a flash of light. I appeared before the young woman using my white tiger clone. Congratulations, little kitten, you've successfully made a clean break with your past. Zhu Zuqing responded softly, but her expression was somewhat complex. There was relief and a sense of ease, but also a faint trace of melancholy. After all, that was something she was once forced to consider a part of her destiny. Remember, your destiny doesn't need any outsiders telling you what to do. Zhu Zuqing slowly raised her head, looking at the friend before her who had given her everything. She asked softly, then, are you considered an outsider? Or an insider? I was taken aback for a moment. Then, I smiled and took a step forward. I took the young woman's wrist. I am. I looked at her and said, word by word, one of our own. Zhu Zuqing looked into my eyes. She smiled as if a great weight had been lifted, as if she'd broken free from some heavy shackles. Her cool, reserved features relaxed, and the corners of her lips curved into a faint smile. After that brief, warm moment, I let go of her hand. I looked at her with a slightly more serious expression. We're going on a soul hunt tomorrow. Before we leave, I have a choice that I need you to make. What choice? Zhu Zuqing's expression returned to normal. She waited quietly for me to continue. If you had to choose between a 10,000-year third soul ring and an external soul bone, which one would you pick? Zhu Zuqing froze, her expression puzzled and confused. Why this choice? I thought we were going to hunt a 10,000-year soul ring. How did we suddenly switch to an external soul bone? That's just how this world is. Plans can never keep up with reality. The moment we ran into Tang San, I knew the plan had to change, since we've already stolen from Tang San's mother and taken the bone. Unless we can keep up the act for the rest of our lives, we're basically his enemies now. So, to sum it up, even if we can't snatch the 8 spider lances for ourselves, we absolutely cannot let Tang San get them. So, if you had to make a choice here, what would it be? The external soul bone. Zhu Zuqing didn't hesitate for a second. She made her decision instantly, as if hesitating for even a moment would be a sign of disrespect to the external soul bone. Very good, I was extremely pleased with the girl's trust in me. Since you've made up your mind, let's go and try our luck. After a peaceful night's sleep, the next day arrived in a flash. All sorts of hunting parties and vendors were already bustling about the town. Zhu Zuqing left the hotel early, trailing the Shrek group from a distance. Several miles behind them, heading towards the Star Do Great Forest. Before long, it was noon. Zhu Zuqing was filling her stomach with some dry rations, when she suddenly heard a whooshing sound nearby. She was instantly on alert. Turning her head, she saw a shadow zip past. She looked closer, and saw it was a serpent with pale red wings on its back and a huge, blood-red fleshy crest on its head. It was a large serpent, about 6 to 8 meters long. The snake looked like it was fleeing for its life. It paid her no mind at all, flying at full speed towards the Shrek group. and flew right past. A 1,000-year coxcomb phoenix-tail serpent. Besides being fast and able to fly, it's not very useful. Seeing how fast it's flying, it must be getting hunted. I relayed the information about the snake to the girl, while thinking to myself, it's actually matching the original story. If that's the case, then the one who was hunting it, Meng Yiren, should be showing up any second now. Seeing it had nothing to do with her, Zhu Zuqing paid it no mind and just sat calmly on a rock, nibbling on her rations. She had barely taken a few bites when two figures, one old and one young, appeared from where the phoenix tail coxcomb serpent had flown from. Young lady, have you seen a coxcomb phoenix tail serpent fleeing this way? The woman holding the snake-headed staff, Chao Tianxiang, asked Zhu Zuqing amiably. That way, Zhu Zuqing calmly raised her hand, selling out the Shrek group without a moment's hesitation. Thank you, young friend. Chao Tianxiang smiled. She then grabbed Meng Yiren and quickly gave chase. Alright, stop following Tang San and his group. Memorize their scent. We're following that grandmother and granddaughter now. It was at that moment that I suddenly made a decision. Zhu Zuqing was taken aback. Why? I just gave her a vague answer. Don't ask. If you have to ask, it's the powerful intuition of a 100,000-year soul beast. Alright, Zhu Zuqing nodded and didn't ask any more questions. She simply concealed her aura and quietly changed direction, following Meng Yiren and her grandmother from a distance. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. I found it. In the spiritual space, I, who was controlling my doppelganger, slowly opened my eyes. I've sensed the aura of the man-faced demon spider. To the southeast, 5 kilometers away. Upon hearing this, the young girl decisively gave up on following Meng Yiren's group and proceeded according to my directions. Her steps were light. In less than 10 minutes, she quietly arrived in a darker area of the forest. Vaguely ahead, there was a huge spider web. A few bodies wrapped in spider silk were hanging on the web. She cautiously approached, but she found no sign of the man-faced demon spider on the web or in the vicinity. Be careful, it's already watching you, I said at the right moment. Zhu Zuqing didn't reply. She just silently raised her guard. Rustle, rustle. Sound like rustling leaves echoed from not far away. She turned her head to look, but she only saw a black shadow flash by. This thing is very smart, and its abilities are very comprehensive. Its spider legs are like spears. Their piercing power is very strong. You can't block them head-on. Understood. Zhu Zuqing took a deep breath. She directly switched her martial soul. White tiger. Possession. The black fur on her body quickly turned white. Her tiger ears, tail, and claws transformed, and the character for king faintly appeared on her forehead. White tiger diamond transformation. The 100,000-year spirit ring beneath her feet lit up. Her slender body instantly became agile and powerful, and her stature seemed to grow a little taller. All her attributes doubled, and at the same time, she became immune to all abnormal conditions, including the man-faced demon spider's venom. The moment the enhancement was complete, sound of something tearing through the air rang out as a black shadow fell from the sky. Several incredibly sharp spears aimed for Zhu Zuqing's body and head, stabbing straight down. The surprise attack was so fast that even Zhu Zuqing was caught a bit off guard. However, she didn't panic. Her left leg bone began to glow faintly. A deep, inky color suddenly burst from beneath her feet, and her speed skyrocketed. Her figure flickered rapidly like a fleeting phantom. In an instant, she appeared 10 meters away as if she had teleported. Swing! The spears missed, instantly tearing up the ground. A creature with a body over 1.5 meters in diameter, covered in black armor. A strange spider with legs like 8 sharp spears appeared before the girl's eyes. It was the man-faced demon spider. Judging by its size, it has at least 2,000 years of cultivation. That's right, it's the target. My tone shifted. Kill it. Understood. A glint of excitement flashed in Zhu Zuqing's eyes. She switched her martial soul a second time. Reverting to the Hell Civet, the man-faced demon spider's 8 long legs moved rapidly, creating a series of afterimages. In the blink of an eye, it appeared before Zhu Zuqing. It instantly raised its 2 front legs, stabbing directly down at Zhu Zuqing's head. Hellish thrust. The spirit ring at Zhu Zuqing's feet lit up. She turned into a black shadow, dodged the attack, and appeared at the man-faced demon spider's side. She lunged forward fiercely. As her hands flashed, the sharp spikes on her cat claws landed precisely on the man-faced demon spider. Its hard black carapace instantly shattered, leaving several noticeable bloody holes. A strange purple liquid dripped out, corroding the ground. Hiss! A strange shriek came from the man-faced demon spider's mouth. It spun around, opening its mouth to spit a web at Zhu Zuqing. A giant, poisonous web that blotted out the sky. Instant shadow, frightened swan. SC3. Hellish thrust. SC3. The dark light on her left leg bones suddenly flared. SC3. She shattered the shadows with a stomp and teleported out of the web's range. The hellish thrust activated at the same time, SC3 wreathed in the power of the nether shadows. Her sharp claws, carrying a vicious edge, thrust straight for the man-faced demon spider's face. The attack was as fast as lightning and came from a tricky angle. But as an apex predator, the man-faced demon spider's reaction was just as swift. Its 8 compound eyes flashed, instantly seeing through Zhu Zuqing's attack pattern. It violently raised its 2 front legs, which were like a pair of poisonous spears glinting coldly. It stabbed viciously toward the young woman. The blow was powerful and heavy, strong enough to shatter gold and cut jade. An ear-piercing screech of metal on metal exploded. Sparks flew where the claws and legs met. The cat claws and spider legs were locked in a stalemate for a moment. Ripples of force spread out, shaking the leaves from the surrounding trees. Screech! The man-faced demon spider let out a piercing cry. All 8 of its legs pushed forward at once, trying to break Zhu Zuqing's assault. What it didn't expect was that the power contained within the young woman's slender frame was far greater than it had ever imagined. Attack its underbelly, my voice rang out in her mind. Right, Zhu Zuqing's eyes narrowed as she instantly activated the power of the spirit bone in her right arm. Mountain crushing, earth shattering. Break, a terrifyingly immense force erupted from her right arm, like a collapsing mountain or a splitting earth. This power instantly overwhelmed the man-faced demon spider's full strength, tossing its massive body straight up into the sky. The writhing human face on its underbelly, and its 8 purple glowing eyes were exposed. This is my chance. Now, hellish 100 claws. The second spirit ring at Zhu Zuqing's feet flared to life. Her hands became a blur, clawing frantically. Countless tangible claw marks rained down like a torrential storm. Squelch! Amid a series of strange, muffled thuds, the man-faced demon spider's abdomen was instantly torn to shreds, and its 8 eyes burst one after another. A blackish-purple liquid sprayed out. Asterisk screech. Its weak point had been struck. The unprecedented pain made the man-faced demon spider let out a blood-curdling shriek. It had gone completely berserk. Its 6 legs still on the ground pushed off violently, launching its entire body into the air. It abandoned all defense, its 8 legs moving in concert, becoming a phantom blur of spears stabbing madly down at Zhu Zuqing. The attack was filled with frenzy and brutality. Zhu Zuqing's eyes narrowed. She stepped into the nether, creating distance. Hellish thrust. Her slender, agile body shot upwards, instantly rising higher than the man-faced demon spider. It was like a mid-air double jump, an acceleration that allowed her to complete a. With an incredible twist, she landed on the man-faced demon spider's back. Her 2 claws stabbed down viciously, piercing through its hard carapace. They sank deep into the flesh below as the man-faced demon spider struggled frantically. Its 8 legs flailed wildly, trying to throw the young woman off its back. But Zhu Zuqing clung to it like death itself, gripping the man-faced demon spider's flesh. Completely unfazed, she let out a low cry. Her cat claws twisted back to back as she ripped with all her might. The carapace shattered, and a half-meter-long wound bloomed open like a flower of blood. Strange, 2-toned green and purple blood gushed out like a fountain. It made a sizzling, corrosive sound, and the man-faced demon spider's struggles grew even more frenzied. But the more it thrashed, the calmer Zhu Zuqing became. Her sharp claws were like the Grim Reaper's scythe. Every slash tore away chunks of flesh. In just a few breaths, the man-faced demon spider's back armor was completely shattered, and it could feel its life force draining away. The man-faced demon spider made a desperate choice. It suddenly aimed its head at the sky, and once again, it spat out a poison web, but this time, the target was itself. The massive web descended like a canopy, enveloping the man-faced demon spider and Zhu Zuqing along with it. It was as if it wanted to take Zhu Zuqing down with it. Clearly, it was getting desperate. The man-faced demon spider's most powerful abilities were its poisonous web and its legs. Once entangled in the web, even with Zhu Zuqing's poison immunity from the white tiger Vajra transformation, she would still find it difficult to escape. Seeing this, Zhu Zuqing had no intention of getting tangled up with it. Her second spirit ring lit up. Nether 100 claws struck the man-faced demon spider again, but her body was already retreating at high speed. And in that very instant, the man-faced demon spider ignored the attack. Went berserk, bursting away at full speed. Zhu Zuqing's eyes narrowed. Blazing flame burst charge. Her left arm bone flashed. A blazing flame containing explosive power enveloped her hand as she struck with all her might. Boom! A massive explosion erupted. As Zhu Zuqing's spirit ability with the highest burst damage. The power of this attack was immense. The man-faced demon spider's body was instantly sent flying. The point of impact simply exploded. When the dust settled, the man-faced demon spider lay on the ground, barely alive, its 8 legs twitching feebly. Zhu Zuqing landed 3 meters away, preparing to move in and deliver the final blow. Wait, my voice suddenly rang out. This business with external spirit bones is a tricky one. You can't handle it, let me. Okay. Although Zhu Zuqing didn't understand, she still handed over control of her body without a moment's hesitation. The next second, a golden light flashed across her eyes. Controlling Zhu Zuqing's body, I flexed her wrists. Then, her claws began to fly, moving like the most skilled of surgeons. She began her work on the man-faced demon spider, her claws stabbing it 81 times in a row. Each strike deliberately avoided its vital points, and the man-faced demon spider's wretched screams echoed for miles. Why are you doing this? This scene is so cruel. It made even Zhu Zuqing feel disturbed and uncomfortable. At her core, she was a girl with a cold exterior but a warm heart. Though she could be decisive in battle, she would never torture prey that was already powerless to resist. Regarding soul bones, there's a particular theory. I continued my work, calmly explaining, the more resentment and rage a soul beast feels before it dies, the higher the drop rate for its soul bone will be. And what I'm doing now is to maximize that drop rate. As soon as I finished speaking, I began to activate the killing skull. Thick, blood-colored ripples spread out, forming a miniature white tiger slaughter formation with a radius of only 3 meters. Within the formation, the dense killing intent felt almost tangible. Seeping into the man-faced demon spider's soul, it not only amplified its physical agony, but also pushed its negative emotions, like resentment, rage, and despair. Little by little, to their absolute peak, the row of eyes on the man-faced demon spider's head began to glow with an eerie, scarlet light. Now is the time. I moved as fast as lightning. Nether thrust. The spikes of my cat claws pierced precisely into the man-faced demon spider's head. The man-faced demon spider's life force was severed, and its 8 legs drooped lifelessly. Then, a deep purple soul ring slowly emerged from its corpse, gradually solidifying as it floated in the air. Meanwhile, guided by the killing skull, a phantom of a purple spider's soul, glowing with a faint red light, slowly drifted out of the man-faced demon spider's corpse. The quality of this soul is quite good. It's actually much higher quality than the 3,000-year-old diamond tiger from last time. Though I praised it aloud, I didn't absorb it into my slaughter space. Instead, I forcefully guided this resentful soul, and shoved it, piece by piece, into the solidifying purple soul ring. The instant the soul and soul ring perfectly merged, the purple soul ring jolted violently, and a faint, red mist of blood began to form around it. After doing all that, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. In my memories, the 8 spider lances are obtained by absorbing this soul ring. I've already increased the drop rate to its maximum. Now, you can absorb it. As I spoke, I returned control of the body to Zhu Zuqing. A flicker of purple light flashed across her eyes. Are you alright? Zhu Zuqing keenly sensed that my spiritual form was much fainter than before, and she couldn't help but worry. I'm fine. The procedure was just more taxing than I expected. It drained a lot of my energy. I'll be fine after resting for a few days. I'll keep watch for you. Adjust your condition and absorb the soul ring. Alright, what a thoughtful little kitten. She understood the deeper meaning behind my words and didn't say anything more. She just silently resolved that she must become stronger. After adjusting herself briefly, she began to circulate her soul power, and started to draw in the purple soul ring, which was wreathed in a bloody, crimson glow. Instantly, a violent energy burst forth like a breaking dam. Of a 2,000-year-old man-faced demon spider flooded into her body. The energy of the spirit ring was already immense, not to mention it carried a soul filled with endless resentment. This energy rampaged through her meridians, but for Zhu Zuqing, who had experienced the baptism of the slaughter skull, this attack didn't even count as a soul shock. It couldn't cause her any real harm at all. Time passed bit by bit. Suddenly, the young woman's brow furrowed. Her body unconsciously twisted and twitched. It's coming. I opened my eyes, staring intently at Zhu Zuqing's back. With the sound of cracking bones, 8 strange protrusions suddenly appeared on both sides of her spine. The next second, 8 deep purple spider legs burst from the protrusions, continuously extending and changing. After growing to 1.5 meters, they formed joint-like structures, then continued to extend in another direction. In the end, they transformed into something entirely bright purple, with an extremely brilliant surface. The 8 spider lances, with tips as sharp as awls. The 8 spider lances curled and overlapped, covering most of Zhu Zuqing's body. Then, a ghostly, purple-black power enveloped the young woman like a cocoon, as if undergoing a deeper fusion and transformation. A full half-hour later, the dark cocoon finally shattered heavily. Zhu Zuqing's eyes shot open, and she slowly stood up. Her originally slender figure had now become more well-proportioned and powerful. Set against the 8 spider lances on her back, it created a strangely beautiful contrast. feel like my physical abilities have improved by at least half again. Zhu Zuqing clenched her fist, her tone filled with the excitement of her newfound strength. I can tell. I stroked my chin, my face full of approval. I said without blinking, I can tell. How can you tell? Zhu Zuqing asked, but halfway through her question, she suddenly felt a slight chill on her body. She lowered her head, and the excitement on her face instantly froze. Her eyes widened as she stood there, stunned, as if frozen in time. I silently took out a black cloak and draped it over Zhu Zuqing. After a moment's thought, I took out a pair of pants and handed them to her. It's just us, don't be afraid. Looking at the pants I kindly offered, Zhu Zuqing felt like she was about to fall apart. Although our relationship was incredibly close, she was not at all prepared to be this open with me. For a moment, Zhu Zuqing was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. And she leapt up. A minute later, Zhu Zuqing had thrown on her clothes with the speed of a lightning bolt. With a slight thought, the 8 spider lances slowly extended. The spider legs were long and powerful, their tips gleaming with a cold, sharp light. The man-faced demon spider has 4 main abilities: tough spider webs, powerful devouring, sharp spider legs, and a terrifying poison. Seeing the young woman start to practice, I slowly explained, I've named this external spirit bone I gave you the 8 spider lances. It doesn't have any active attack spirit abilities, but it has inherited the other 3 powerful abilities perfectly. Is it that strong? Zhu Zuqing could indeed feel that every single spider lance contained a terrifying toxin. Plus, they're extremely sharp, with astonishing piercing power. But as for this devouring ability, she couldn't really feel it. You'll know if you try. I pointed to a tree not far away. Huge tree that would take 3 people to encircle. Okay, Zhu Zuqing walked up to the tree, and one of the spider lances shot out like lightning. Asterisk peeved, the spider lance pierced through the great tree with ease. But before she could retract the 8 spider lances, she discovered that radiating from the point of impact, a strange, dark purple toxin was rapidly spreading throughout the entire tree. It even contaminated the ground in a 3-meter radius. The 8 spider lances twitched slightly, and the entire tree instantly exploded into dust. But a faint stream of energy traveled back through the 8 spider lances and into the girl's body. Shock flashed in Zhu Zuqing's eyes. She felt like she finally understood just how powerful the man-faced demon spider's devouring ability was. Although this energy couldn't be used to increase her soul power right now, it could only serve as a temporary mana bar. What about in the future? That's right, these are the 8 spider lances. They can grow, evolve, and devour. And they come with their own powerful toxin. They can easily pierce an opponent's body and even enhance your physical attributes. They're totally stacked. You could honestly call them the strongest external soul bone. I'm completely convinced. I even think that if an evil soul master managed to get the 8 spider lances, no matter how low their starting point was, as long as they weren't killed, they'd eventually become a titled duello through sheer hard work and effort. After all, the reason Tang San could become the progenitor of evil soul masters is largely thanks to the 8 spider lances. So powerful, Zhu Zuqing couldn't help but swallow hard again. A thought suddenly occurred to her. The 8 spider lances and the killing skull were a perfect match. If you successfully killed an opponent, not a single trace of their body and soul would be left behind. I reminded her, don't forget about your soul power and your 3rd soul skill. Take a moment to feel them out. Okay, Zhu Zuqing took out a crystal ball for measuring soul power and infused her own into it. Crystal ball gradually filled with light, finally stabilizing at level 39. It's this high? Surprise flickered in Zhu Zuqing's cold eyes. Although she knew she'd accumulated a lot of soul power, she never imagined it would be this much. That's not high. It's completely normal. You'll get used to it. I was expecting this. In fact, I think it's a little low. If I hadn't used up so much energy building my 2nd martial soul, you probably would have, right after absorbing your 3rd soul ring, already hit level 40. But it's not a big problem. As long as my plan goes smoothly, even if you don't train, you'll be able to break through to the soul ancestor rank within a year, maybe even higher. Zhu Zuqing nodded slightly. My 3rd soul skill is called Nether Piercing. Uses nether power to launch a powerful piercing attack with a 50% armor break effect. If the move itself already ignores defense, it tears the wound open, dealing an extra 50% in true damage. On top of that, this soul skill can also be used in combination with other soul skills. It just consumes a bit more soul power. That's good, it's a very decent soul skill. I nodded in satisfaction. After all, the man-faced demon spider was only 2,000 years old. Getting a soul skill with 50 armor penetration is already incredible. Not to mention this soul skill is a perfect match for the Nether Civet martial soul. It's much better than Little Sand's laughable spider web restraint. He already has a restraint skill, yet he still needed to get another similar one. The blue-silver cage type. It's a bit ridiculous. I think I can use the 8 spider lances as a medium to activate my soul skills. Zhu Zuqing's cool voice suddenly interjected. That makes sense. Even though the 8 spider lances haven't perfectly fused with you, they're still a part of you. I nodded gently. I remember in the original story, as strong as the 8 spider lances were, they didn't really synergize with Tang San's abilities. He had a whole bunch of soul skills, but almost none of them could be used through the 8 spider lances. This is perfect. Try out the soul skill. I raised my hand and pointed to a nearby boulder that was taller than a person. Civet, possession. Zhu Zuqing immediately summoned her martial soul. She accelerated and rushed forward. Nether Thorn. The 3rd soul ring at her feet lit up, and the 8 spider lances simultaneously glowed with a dark light. Empowered by the nether force, they became incomparably sharp. The next moment, the spider lances shot out like 8 bolts of lightning. Shunk. The lances pierced the giant rock as if it were tofu, easily running it straight through. The whole time, it felt like there wasn't the slightest bit of resistance. Such strong piercing power. I feel like it's stronger than when I attack directly with my hands. The power is at least 50% higher, Zhu Zuqing said as she pulled out the spider lances. Looking at the smooth, mirror-like holes, she was a bit stunned. She had reason to believe that with an attack like this, not even the man-faced demon spider itself could have taken 2 hits. The 8 spider lances themselves have extremely strong piercing power, and combined with Nether Thorn's armor penetration. Slicing through metal and jade is a piece of cake, I said. If an ordinary soul elder were hit by this move, they'd either be dead or severely injured, not to mention corroded by the potent poison. You could say that Zhu Zuqing using the 8 spider lances, compared to her normal self, has more than doubled her overall combat power. Zhu Zuqing looked completely serious. I'm terrifyingly strong now. The image of herself fighting with the 8 spider lances, just thinking about it. She felt she was a bit overpowered. Being strong is a good thing. And this is just the beginning of our path to godhood, I said with a slight smile. I couldn't help but wonder if the current Zhu Zuqing could beat a level 37 Huo Yuhao. Godhood. Zhu Zuqing suppressed the excitement in her heart, trying to remain calm. Her complete form is very strong, that's true, but her twin martial souls and soul bones are trump cards, to be kept hidden from prying eyes. She still can't just reveal them in front of others. What she could rely on was still just her nether civet. However, she always felt that, with me by her side, becoming a god, it seems it's not so ethereal after all. Let's go. Let's find some spirit beasts so you can properly familiarize yourself with your power. As the voice faded, the doppelganger turned into a beam of light and entered the young woman's body. Zhu Zuqing did a quick cleanup and left the battlefield. However, she had walked less than 5 li when she sensed something not far away. A powerful aura, an aura as profound as the earth itself. Yet it also carried a primal fury. This is. Zhu Zuqing's pupils narrowed. It's an old friend of mine. Let's go have a look, quietly. As I spoke, I released my spiritual power to conceal the young woman's aura. Zhu Zuqing nodded, moving without a sound, just like a nether civet. She stealthily neared the source of the aura. When she rounded a patch of dense bushes, seen before her left her stunned. In a clearing in the woods ahead, stood an incredibly muscular, black giant ape, its shoulder height exceeding 7 meters. Its muscles bulged like granite, making it look like a small mountain. The terrifying aura it gave off was on par with mine before my sacrifice. A 100,000-year spirit beast. The young woman's eyes widened slightly. She never expected that in the Star Doe Forest, not even in the intermediate zone, an area that couldn't even be called that, she would actually run into another 100,000-year spirit beast. But what shocked her even more wasn't this giant ape, but the person sitting at its feet. The one who was close with Tang San, the one with the scorpion braid. The very lively girl from Shrek, Xiao Wu. This girl hadn't been devoured by the giant ape. Instead, the giant ape was like a watchdog, loyally guarding the girl's side. But what shocked Zhu Zuqing the most was Xiao Wu's extremely strange state at that moment. She sat cross-legged, her body enveloped in a layer of blood-red light. Under the shroud of this blood-red light, a purple spirit ring was slowly taking form around her. Without even hunting a spirit beast, she was just sitting there meditating, and the spirit ring was somehow forming all by itself. Zhu Zuqing was completely baffled. Was she seeing things? How could a person form a spirit ring on their own? And to have a 100,000-year spirit beast protecting her while she absorbs it? Just then, my voice sounded in her mind. That 100,000-year spirit beast is the legendary Titan giant ape, the king of the forest, who can be called a god of the earth. But doesn't the Titan giant ape live in the Star Doe Forest's core region? Why would it suddenly show up here? Zhu Zuqing asked impatiently in her mind, and what's going on with that girl? Could it be? An answer was already faintly forming in her heart. You've guessed correctly, that girl is a 100,000-year soft-bone rabbit who has taken human form. That's why she can form one on her own, without needing to hunt for a spirit ring. So it really is a transformation. All her questions were answered in that instant. Zhu Zuqing's pupils contracted as she stared blankly at Xiao Wu. She never imagined a spirit beast's human form could be so lifelike. They had met several times, and she hadn't suspected a thing. Wait a minute, you knew all along, didn't you? Thinking about how I had mentioned an old friend earlier, the young woman suddenly put it together. If the Titan giant ape is an old friend, then you know Xiao Wu, right? I know the Titan giant ape, but I've never seen Xiao Wu before she took human form. However, I paused for a moment, then spoke slowly. Back in Nuoding City, I could tell she wasn't human from the moment I first saw her. Then why didn't you tell me sooner? Zhu Zuqing asked in her mind. Her tone was a bit complex. It would have only caused more trouble. I was waiting for the right moment to act before telling you. After all, if I just suddenly told you that Xiao Wu was a 100,000-year-old spirit beast in human form, you probably wouldn't have believed me. I would have, Zhu Zuqing said firmly. My expression faltered for a second. I never realized I had quietly become so important in the young lady's heart. Next time, I'll tell you beforehand. After a moment of silence, I spoke again. If an opportunity to kill Xiao Wu comes up later, would you be able to do it? Why wouldn't I? Zhu Zuqing didn't hesitate for a second. As a person of principle, if Xiao Wu were just an innocent human girl, even if I told her she was a 100,000-year-old spirit beast in human form, she might be too soft-hearted to risk killing an innocent person. But now that it's confirmed she's a 100,000-year-old spirit beast in human form, she no longer has that hesitation. Killing a spirit beast? She feels no psychological burden about it now. Killing a spirit master? She certainly wouldn't judge by appearances. And compared to a 100,000-year-old spirit bone, she feels that the mercy in her heart is something she can overcome. That's good. I gave a faint smile. When we get the chance to kill her, I hope you won't hold back. A chance? Zhu Zuqing's eyes lowered slightly, but her voice was filled with a chilling killing intent. Why not just kill her in a little while?